in life you can't control everything, but it's your responsibility to try, right? We're gonna speak on releasing your blocks, releasing those things that kind of prevent you from reaching your goals, reaching your daily goals, your weekly goals, your monthly goals, and not even just goals, right? But more so getting into that peace, because we all want peace, we all want happiness, we all want joy, we all want to feel good. We're gonna speak on things where these could be habits, these could be individuals, these could be conversations, these could be, daily things that you might get yourself into. We're gonna speak on how to best make your chances of avoiding them. Everything you can avoid, but it's your responsibility to try, right? It is your responsibility to try your best to avoid any situation that could potentially block you from getting to your situations that you wish to. So ask yourself, like, where are you trying to go? Of course, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knows the 10-year plan, everybody knows the 24-hour format. If you don't know, let me explain it to you. 10 years plan is just basically telling yourself, where am I going to be in the next 10 years and what am I going to do to get me where I want to be in the next 10 years? This is going to be broken down into weekly things that you do, daily things, and even hourly things that you discuss, right? 24-hour format. Everybody has 24 hours. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, your religion, your faith, your race. It doesn't matter where you come from, right? You could be an animal. I don't care, right? Everybody on this planet Earth has only 24 hours in a day. Even creatures, only 24 hours. So it's important to analyze your 24 hours and what are you spending doing in your 24 hours. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be like blockages, like, oh man, people block me. This can also, a lot of times we have to self-reflect, and that's one of the hardest things to do because it's so easy to blame others. And I'm not saying that others don't play fault in your destiny. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is it takes a true personality to be like, yo, it takes like real guts, to be like, yo, I if once we start to look at our own situations, it'll be a lot easier to avoid others as well, right? So I want you guys to start looking at your 24 hours, right? Are you doing anything that could prevent you from reaching your goals? Are you maybe spending too much time watching television where you're watching somebody else live their lives, or on your phone? Are you spending too much time listening in a conversation that doesn't really teach you anything? If people ain't talking about none, are you willing to just listen to them, or are you hesitant to hit that decline button? And I'm not saying in a rude way, but sometimes we gotta be honest with ourselves, right? If we're trying to reach this goal, we're trying to be happy, we're trying to be peace, we're trying to enjoy the one life we have, why is it that we continue to allow situations, in whether it be through what we do, our daily habits, or whether we entertain other people that doesn't necessarily want to see us grow or want to see us develop? You know what I mean? So releasing your blocks. I encourage you guys, right? When you wake up in the morning, set yourself a plan, right? Like legit, yo. And then also set yourself up where you start to look at what you're doing in your day to day lives, right? Ask yourself, hey, you know, if what I'm doing, is it gonna get me somewhere? No. Okay, this might be, and no disrespect to nobody that works any specific career choice, works any specific things, but it's kind of like common knowledge. Like really, just say, if we sit down and we think a lot more than we actually do, because a lot of us are just doing, you know what I'm saying? We're doing all this thing. But in order for you to do any job, you have to have knowledge on the job that you're doing in the first place, right? Mechanics, you want a mechanic to explain to you. This is quote to say, if you can't explain to a 6-year-old, then you don't know what you're talking about. You want a mechanic to come to you and explain every detail about what's wrong with your car. So, in order for him to be able to explain that, he has to have knowledge first and foremost, right? It doesn't necessarily being like somebody just comes off the street and just starts working on your car. You're not gonna want that. You want somebody that actually has knowledge and experience and all of that good stuff. So I want you guys to take time out of your day to spend time thinking about your life, thinking about the habits that you're doing, think about the habits that people are doing. If the people are doing habits that you wouldn't necessarily do, should you involve yourself 75, 25, or even I would say bare minimum, if these specific people don't really, match your energy, probably give them 5% of your time. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a year, maybe a day around, a holiday or something. You know what I'm saying? Like realistically, because it's like if you're growing and you're evolving, why are you gonna continue to allow that energy to surface when that could affect your energy? So just little key points to you guys. But the main message I want to get out to you guys is do a lot of thinking. Spend a lot of time doing your thinking, because once you look at your life specifically, you can understand where you need to go. I can only say so much with this YouTube channel, but if you want to break it down to your specifics, look at your life, look at what you're doing in your 24 hours, and then try to make moves to try to either get rid of it completely or just slight it. It's kind of like eating junk food. I eat chips, you know what I'm saying, but I like to do a little training, but I also like little free days, little cheat days and whatever. Like, it's not about cutting it off completely. It's just limiting that chance of it overtaking your life. If I was to eat junk food all day, I would feel very fatigued. I want to go to sleep all day. I feel very lack of energy. I wouldn't be able to do videos. I wouldn't be able to do anything, right? So it's kind of like just limiting that source that can prevent you from doing what you want to do, what makes you happy, what makes you get up in the morning, what makes you grind, what makes you be motivated. You're just limiting those sources, limiting those blocks. And like I said, this could be your personal blocks, or this could be something that we allow ourselves to engage with others. And if these specific people at the moment are not necessarily supportive of your decisions, maybe you do need to go ahead and go get your in place. Maybe you do need to go ahead and move away for a little bit, just so kind of that people can understand. Sometimes we have to show people that we're not tolerating. We have to demand respect, because sometimes respect is not just given. If you look at countries, right? Look at countries that fight wars. The only reason why the countries respect each other and not just over here sending nuclear, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but the only reason why a lot of countries are not just sending nuclear bombs all over and everywhere is because they know that, okay, the other country will send one right back at them. They fought wars for respect. You know what I'm saying? It's all about respect. So sometimes you have to kind of move away and show others, if it's not you and you feel like, oh man, it's somebody that you've been entertaining, and you might feel like, oh, if I don't entertain them, then they're not gonna like me. Sometimes they have to not. It's not about people liking you. It's about people respecting you. It's not about you liking what you do. It's about you respecting what you do. Ask yourself: do you respect your hustle? Do you respect what comes with it? Are you engaged with it? Are you enjoying what comes with it? Are you enjoying the benefits? Are you also willing to accept the downfalls of you spending more time on it, you spending less time away from your family? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta look at all aspects of what you're doing in order to prevent those blocks or release those blockages, release those things that can prevent you from getting to your goals, right? So make sure that you guys are doing so. Sit down, think about where you're trying to go in life, think about the things that you're trying to develop, and ask yourself, what is it where I can. I was in a situation. I was talking to a fellow coworker, and he was telling me a few things about myself where it was like, okay, these are not bad points, but these are work on points, and I stuck that. I told myself I'm gonna pass that on as well. Work on points. You probably don't have bad habits, but you might have work on points, because there's always room for improvement. You learn from the cradle to your grave, right? So take advantage of that. Take advantage of that knowledge. Try to think about your life, because knowledge is power. Knowledge is key. Knowledge is the reason why people's able to know how to control certain situations, and you have this matrix system, and this 9 to 5, and you have all of these time formats and 24 hours. And so let's, instead of letting it control us, let's seek it out, let's understand it, and then let's apply it to our day-to-day lives. And let's start to do things that, because you'll start doing things that you want to do, not necessarily because you have to do for money, but because you actually want to do it and you actually enjoy. Not only do you enjoy the benefits that come with it, but you're also willing to accept the downfalls that come with it as well, right? There's a lot of downfalls to everything. There's pros and cons to everything you do. Depends on how you look at it, right? And while it's okay to be optimistic and always look at the positive, it's very important to also look at both ends so that you can understand the discipline. Because sometimes you're not always going to be motivated to do what you necessarily think that you want to do, but it's about discipline to do it even on the days that you don't necessarily want to do it. You know what I mean? And that's how you know you're really passionate about something. But to wrap the video up, when you're releasing your blocks, or you're releasing a situation that can prevent you from getting to your goals, you got to look at not only your habits and what you're doing, but also I want you guys to sit down and think and ask yourself questions. Ask yourself where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do in your day. And it wouldn't necessarily snap of a finger get you there one time or the next day, but slowly you'll start seeing people that respect you more. You know what I'm saying? And not saying you want that from them or you're searching for that, but it will happen. You know, it will happen slowly, and people will be a lot more hesitant to say, or probably call you over because they see that you're doing your thing. They see you're busy, and you want people that respect and that appreciate the fact that you're doing what you're supposed to do, right? That's the type of people that you want to associate. And energy is reciprocated. So when you put that energy out there, like, look, this is what I'm gonna be doing, this is how I'm gonna get it, this is how what I'm gonna be, what I'm saying? This is where I want my life to go. That responsibility lifestyle. Once you start doing that and being on top of your game, the energy will flow within you. You will start to you will start to meet people that are like you. You might get into relationships with somebody. It might be you might be a boy, they might be a girl, but they're just like you. They just have different body parts. But that's just what it is. Remember, we're a soul. We're a walking soul. Yeah, this flash and all of that, because we don't choose how we look unless you go into plastic surgery and all that. But I'm not talking about that. Naturally, we don't choose how we come out of our wounds, but we can choose the decisions that we make in our lives. So just keep that in mind. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I don't want to drag this video too long. Release your blocks by looking at what you do in your day-to-day habits, and if the people that you associate with are going to bring you closer and closer to your goals. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys on the next video.